Fellow tennis nerds, I hope all is well. Today we review two strings from Toroline, the hyped up string brand with the funky colorways. You've probably seen them on Tennis Channel, in my reviews, in Carousel's Racket with the K-pop. They're a little bit everywhere, also on Tennis Warehouse now, so check them out with the links in the description or through their website. Use Tennis Nerd for 20% off. But today we're going to review two new strings in the Toro family. And Toro is a kind of elastic, spin-oriented string that was developed together with former ATP pro Steve Johnson, who was 25 in the world. So pretty exciting project. I have reviewed Toro earlier, but these are variations of Toro. The Oro Tour being a firmer six-sided string competing with strings like RPM Blast and Luxlum 4G Olo Power stiffer strings. And this one, which is the Toro Spin, which is a little bit softer, similar to Toro, and the six-sided. So gives you a lot of explosivity, a lot of liveliness in the string. So we will talk about these today. According to the Racketpedia lab, where they do these kind of more scientific string tests, it tested higher in spin control, playing life, and comfort than Olo Power, despite a higher resilience peak. And resilience peak means how elastic and explosive the string is. Some players love that kind of feature, some players don't. They want a more dead response, which is usually where I am. But I will tell you how this could work for you in different rackets. So regular Toro is available in neon green and white in 123 gauge. People of all levels seem to love that string. I thought it a little bit soft for my liking, a little bit too elastic, which made me curious about Toro Tour being the firmer option, and even Toro Spin 5-sided, but still has the same elasticity, the same comfort and softer feel like regular Toro. But we'll start with Toro Spin and we move on to the Toro Tour. Toro Spin, it's 5-sided, pentagonal, instead of the regular 6 for Toro. The idea is to create even more bite on the ball, even a higher launch angle, so the ball really goes from the racket. Has the flex and elasticity of the original Toro. It's a very comfortable option, pretty spin oriented, of course. That's the whole point. Comes in 4 colors right now: neon green, neon pink, white, and lavender. I haven't noticed any significant differences in how they play, but I think there might be some. Keen to hear if you try the different colors, if you've noticed anything. Gauge for all these is 123, and maybe something they can work on in the future is having more gauges, which would be interesting. Maybe a slightly thicker one, maybe for some a slightly thinner one, although I prefer a slightly thicker string. So I have tried Toro Spin in various rackets and tensions. 2 examples off the top of my head is the neon pink one in the Babolat Pure Drive 98. The most recent version, I strung that at 53 pounds. Pretty firm racket, so I wanted a soft string. And the neon green in the Radical MP, also the 2025 version, at 50 pounds. The idea there was to drop it a little bit for a more low-powered racket. Makes sense to me. And the string is lively, it's soft, has a lot of pocketing, and it's fun to play with. Kind of creates this explosive feel, really explodes out from the string bed, if you will. And that works in some rackets. That does not work so well maybe in more powerful rackets, in my opinion. In the Radical, it worked excellently. I thought that explosivity kind of offsets some of the pingy feel when you hit outside the center on the Radical MP. I find that to be a very good racket. I really enjoy playing with it. It gives you pinpoint control, and you get a little bit of extra spin, liveliness, and power with the Toro Spin string. So I thought that was like a perfect match. Really helped the racket come alive more. And if you put a stiff string in the Radical, which I've tried, it kind of makes it a little bit harsh almost, and really makes it too dead. So in this case, I felt like the softer string really worked. However, in the Pure Drive 98, I felt like it was too much explosivity, too much power. I felt like balls were sailing a little bit long. Did not get the bite I would need personally to play with it in that type of racket. I think it would work better in the ESO 98, for example, which has a little bit lower launch angle than the Drive 98. But yeah, more control-oriented racket. I think Toro Spin can be a great option. The string personality is pretty clear. It is spinny, lively, launchy, and comfortable. All these things. And in a control racket, this really helps give you a little bit of extra. So I really enjoyed how it hits. I really felt like it's very comfortable. It feels nice on impact. but in a more power-oriented racket, I couldn't quite rely on it to have enough control. I would have to string it higher, which is always an option, but in my regular tension range, I would say. So Toro Spin, good in control rackets, not a huge fan of it in power rackets. For a control racket, you can lower the tension, you know the drill. So interesting string, I did like how it plays, but I will keep it for more control rackets. Okay, over to Oro Tour. So the Toro Tour is a firmer, 6-sided option. It's more about control and durability here. It's approximately, according to Toroline, 15% stiffer than the regular Toro, and it's more comparable towards strings like 4G. Luxlon 4G is a pretty firm string, and RPM Blast, same there. This gives advanced players like aspiring pros or high-level club players more room to really swing out and go for their shots with some confidence. And if you are a player perhaps enjoying lower tensions, I think this string could be for you because it plays controlled still at a low tension. Available only in 123 gauge, one colorway for now. It's the Neon Mint. Looks fantastic in the E-zone, but looks pretty okay in a lot of rackets. And I did try them in a lot of rackets. ISO 98, 49 pounds. Nordic Dots model 199. I tried it around 47 pounds. I put it in a hybrid with a polymer string that might also be available soon from Toroline in the Pure Drive 100 at 53. And I'm sure a bunch of other rackets I forgot. So the string really delivers control, spin. I wouldn't say it's too stiff or too harsh. People who tried it with me, they really enjoyed that aspect of it. And that it's a comfortable yet kind of control-oriented string, but it's obviously not as comfortable as Toro Spin or Toro. So I wouldn't, if I have arm issues, consider this string. I would rather get the other strings or any kind of arm concerns. So, you always play the safe card there. But it held tension really well. Probably the best of all the Toroline strings I've tried. I mean, it's not as much pocketing as Toro Spin, but it delivers on control and has like a really solid, stable feeling string. So the string personality of Toro Tour is controlled, has a good bite, firm but not harsh in this case, and it works really well at low tension. So that's really where I would put the Toro Tour string. My favorite Toroline string at the moment. I did like the Spin one, but the Toro Tour has grown on me and works in these kind of rackets that I usually play matches and so on with. So 2 solid string options from Toroline to summarize. Quite a range of strings now, as you can check out on Toroline.com. If you're not sure which Toroline string to get, or if you want to try a hybrid, check out the Toroline.ai, which is an interesting program where you put in your preferences, your playing style and so on, and you will get like a custom hybrid for you, handpicked for you by the Toroline team. So that's a pretty cool idea. They also now have this string bar where if you have a bit more of an idea what you want to try, you can pick 2 strings and you will get your own custom kind of hybrid with your name on it. So that's a pretty cool idea from Toroline there. They keep doing this funky stuff. So I like both strings, but really racket dependent. I wouldn't put Toro Tour in the Radical, and I wouldn't put Toro Spin in an ISO 100. That's really how I can put it. It's works for some rackets and not for others. That's with all strings, but you need to know how to match the racket with the string. So Toro Spin works well Radical or Blade, for example, because you have a nice pocketing, long dwell time in the string bed. Comfort is great, and Toro Tour would be my cup of tea more in my ISO 98 or even in an Aero 98. These kind of slightly more powerful rackets. I think that Toro Tour works better, and especially for you heavy hitters, you would like the control and the confidence you get from Toro Tour, while the Toro Spin is a little bit more lively, which it should be. All right, so 2 solid strings again from Toroline. Let me know what your favorite Toroline string is in the comments. So if you want to check out Toroline strings, go to Toroline.com, use the code TennisNerd, get 20% off, and send a small commission to us, which we say thank you for. We really like Toroline strings. We like their initiatives. I think they're forward-thinking and they try to challenge the market a bit. It might not be a string for everyone, but I really like their products so far. And if you want to know about other strings, you can check out our recommended strings page on tennisnerd.net. That's it. Have a nice day, and don't forget to play some tennis.